Okay, so my name is Eliška Kyselková, and I would identify myself maybe as a visual artist. I'm working with photography, but also a little bit with the video and with the moving image. And today I'm gonna present my work, I would say from maybe like a beginning of my career till now. So it's gonna be this like evolution of myself and of my work. And I just selected like a few kind of iconic or kind of important series for me, or some projects which like somehow changed my practice, or which are basically important for me. So if you have any questions, you see these design codes sometimes.
Should I just steal it?
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. So if you have any questions in the presentation, don't be shy, just ask me about anything. I usually picked up just like 2 or 3 pictures from one project. So if you want to see more, you can also ask me and I can show you on my website basically. So this is the series which is from 2012, so it's quite old one. I created this project called Homage to Monika Cook with my classmate Katarina Tamova, and we were really inspired by the artist Monika Cook. I don't know if any of you know this artist. She's a painter. She's doing these like super hyper-realistic paintings of these like bodies and seafood together. It's really really interesting, and we wanted to create the series inspired by that, and maybe like show some ideas of consumerism in nowadays society. So we added like a little details of like our nowadays world. It's not very visible on this, but for example, the model has like these headphones on him, and then we have like the cat with the guitar. So that's basically quite important series for me, because I started to work with the theme of consumerism and consumption, which I think I use quite a lot in my work, because I like to reference like a nowadays society. I love to look around and you know, reflect that in my work in sometimes funny way, I would say. We're gonna see it later. So this was quite important series for me. And actually now the series has the second name Vanitas, because actually the artist contacted us and she was very happy that we are using her name in the name of the series, because some people were thinking that's actually her painting and they wanted to buy it. so that's why now we have this like a second name, Vanitas, but we are still using the second name because it's everywhere anyway. But it was quite interesting, because she's really really big artist. So we were even excited that she emailed us. So that was quite like an important series for me. And I did it still back in Czech Republic, where I studied my BA in photography. It was called advertising photography, but actually it wasn't advertising photography that much. It was more like a conceptual, I would say. And I wasn't very happy there. Like yeah, it wasn't a very good period, I would say, because I was really excited to start studying photography, and I had so many of these like ideas and visions, and the teachers like wanted the students to just focus on the schoolwork, and I just felt that I can do like plus 20 other things, and they just didn't get it, I think, that much. So this series is actually when I came to London already, and I think that was quite a big change, because I studied at UIL, at London College of Fashion here, at MA Fashion Photography, and we had really really amazing tutor basically. and it was opposite. Basically, it was the opposite. He was like pushing us to work more. He was like giving us really like exciting, even inspirations. So for me, that was like a big change in this. And this was part of the school assignment. I think it was called like a modern man, modern woman. Basically, I was again playing with this like a consumption theme. I was really inspired by these like advertisements and commercials where there are these like ideal body types, like how we should look like. Yeah, everyone is so beautiful all the time. And even in the commercials and advertisement, there's this like element like what you should eat to be like this and blah blah blah. So I was thinking that I can make a little like fun from it. So I like casted this almost like a perfect model, and then I basically surrounded him with the fruits and with these like sensory bags. So it is kind of like a joke, and then each image of the series had some names. So he was a hero. Then here's actually we have a model right here. So we are. I'm gonna talk. That's actually Moon, yeah. So we are working together for quite a while, and he's basically kind of my muse, I would say. We are working basically a lot together. So Moon represented the skinny one, yeah, with the pineapple. And I even wanted like this kind of almost sexualized photos of the fruits, like this kind of idealization of the healthy food, yeah, which is every time kind of pushed to our society. So this kind of a colorful banana. And here I come to my more fashion-related work, because I think I'm not working every time with the fashion designers or with fashion element, but I think my work is overall fashion-related, even with the colors or either with the fashion element. So I love fashion photography, but not every time I'm using fashion in my work. So this project Vietcam is actually like a mix in between, I would say. So this series is inspired by my travels in Asia, and the series is basically composed of images from Vietnam. Some are made in London, inspired by Vietnam, and and there are like different varieties of the works. And basically this image particularly, it was done in London, in Holland Park, but it's inspired by one like event in Vietnam where the people before they ate, they every time wanted to take a picture of the food. So it was like even almost like a maniac every time, because sometimes they wanted to take a picture of their neighbor's food, yeah. So they started to create these pyramids from the phones, and they actually took at the end the picture of the person beneath them, which was just like funny for me. So that was the inspiration for this photo, to creating this like a pyramid. And again, there is this like a relationship with the food. And the whole series Vietcam, as you can hear, is like this relationship of modern technologies and these kind of traditions which are in Vietnam. Here is like an example of the sketch, because in many of the projects I'm doing sketches and some like preparation beforehand. I would say that I'm more like a staging photographer, that I love to have the idea and prepare it in advance. So here you can see, I'm not very good painter, so that's maybe good that I'm doing photography, yeah. So just like a funny thing, how I basically compose the images. And sometimes, as in this case, it's really, really similar to the final result. Sometimes it's very different, but sometimes it's really similar to that. So here are like even more images. Like the image on the right was inspired by these by Buddhism and Hinduism. You know, they have these like statues with a lot of hands, and there are these eyes. So I was thinking that instead of these eyes, they can have the iPhones, and it can create this interesting relationship. Because that's again inspired by Vietnam experience. I was in Da Nang, for example, in Marble Mountains, which is like a really like a famous site, I would say, because it's really like a sacred place. There's a lot of these like caves and Buddhism statues. And I was just thinking that it's quite funny that these people just come and they take pictures. So they maybe don't even see the space. Maybe they see it when they come home, and they can actually put the pictures to their computers. So they finally can enjoy the atmosphere maybe. But it was interesting that maybe they took more of the selfies and pictures than actually enjoying the atmosphere and this kind of a relationship with the place. And the left one, it was inspired a bit like by this kind of a losing this connection with with these kind of a traditions. I don't know if there is more, because I have also, I didn't put it there, but I just had the exhibition in Brno. It's gonna be like I had the exhibition with the project. So actually I'm still in this kind of a Vietcam series now. So this is like a poster. So this image is the same topic like the portrait one, but I think this one is maybe even better. So I don't know why I didn't include it in the presentation. Yeah, like for example, these were basically made in Vietnam. So I was working also with Polaroid. I like to play with formats, so not shoot everything on one camera, but even like experiment. I love to work with a large format camera. Yeah, this is the inspiration for that image with the iPhones. And that's also from that site in Vietnam. Yeah, so you see. So I love to work also with large format camera, because I think that's something which not too many people uses. And then yeah, it just like, because the camera is so huge, I don't know if any of you like are using it. It basically looks like these old school cameras when you put it this cape, and then there was the photographer and he was like, and there was the flash coming. I don't have that flash, even though it would be nice. But I also need to put the cape to actually see the image. So that's quite basically interesting way of work, and people are usually like surprised what's gonna happen from this and what's going on. I don't know if you have that same feeling. So yeah, just like inspiration. It was beautiful that in Vietnam they have these amazing trees. I think that's so beautiful. Yeah, so just like showing you, it's a lot of images actually. That's also from Vietnam. Like I was lucky that I was there for a job, but I was there with a friend, because I was shooting for her like a traditional weddings. So it was great. Like we are not such a close friends, but it was great that I could stay at her place, and we were there for like 2.5 weeks. So she was even my model for certain like fashion shoots. So that was really nice. And this was also a beautiful location. But imagine here, like we are shooting this, and I think it's super beautiful. And around is like 1,000 of people with taking selfies around. I just thought it's funny. So yeah, just like to show. Yeah, this was, for example, also interesting. That was in that Marble Mountain site as well. And there is this like a Coca-Cola bench. I was like, what's that? Yeah, also I love this one. I don't know why it's not there. Yeah, that's also from Vietnam. As you can see, I love to use also reflections in the visual aspects. Yeah, well, there's lots of images. I usually, when I work with a certain topic, I love to use a lot of images. That I have a problem when I'm working with fashion magazines, that my series are usually like 20 images or even more, and then they have a problem to publish all of them, or they just don't know what to select. Okay, yeah, here we go. So here is another image from Vietnam. That's the same actually model, and it was at her place. She had a beautiful house, and it was great that they had a pool, and I could actually shoot this from the roof, like down to the pool, and because she had this wedding, she had a lot of these flowers, so we could just throw it in, and this is her like a mother wedding dress, which she didn't use for the actual wedding, but we could photograph it inside the water, and I think it created such a nice like Ophelia theme, and you know, even how she was swimming, that it created this like a nice wave. Like I had to do a little retouching in this part because there was already the side of the that was the end of the pool basically. But I think it was beautiful how it created this kind of a roof almost. She's almost like in the cave or something. And that's also like my older image, yeah, 2013. That was still when I was in Czech Republic, so I'm coming a bit back. But it's a fashion image, and in this series, it was inspired. It's like the name is the Guardian Angels. So I was inspired by this like a topic of guardian angels protecting the model somehow and helping her. Like for example, in this case. So there was even like some more funny shots, because I think that's the other topic which is in my work quite a lot, and it's like a kind of biblical references, or like I think I'm quite influenced by being a Christian, yeah. So I think it's just somehow runs through my work and through even like a fashion work. Here again the sketch. I think this one is quite funny one. But for example, here you can see that sometimes I like to really take a control over the whole image, and even like I request the special things for special photo. So sometimes I even tell the stylist like, okay, get me these shoes, like this is it, or get me these like you see, I already knew that we're gonna have that designer. What's that? The underwear, yeah. So and then the dumbbell I created it myself. It's basically the stick of the broom, and then the polystyrene circles. Yeah. So I just took my bin, which was quite a good size, and then I cut it the circles, and then I create. So it's kind of like a low-cost set design, basically. So sometimes I love to have like this kind of a control on stuff. And then another fashion series that was done in London. So it's kind of the opposite. Again, I love to like every time have the model kind of affected by other models sometimes. Yeah. So here she's kind of a she's a kind of like a bad girl, and she's going to the hell. So it's kind of this kind of idea. I don't want to talk about it that much. I think it's quite visible from the images. But I think it's quite nice how we were working with this like a material, with this like a reflective material, and then with the set basically. I think there is not that much of them, and then there is also a series which I did again with my past classmate Katarina Tarmova, and again it referenced the biblical, it has these biblical references. So it was done again on large format, but this thing down, Katarina actually took it to the scanner, and then she kind of created these lines. I don't know how she did it exactly, but I thought that it's really, really beautiful with this image, because it's almost like this kind of blood going on. So I think the theme here is quite visible, and it was actually like a job for designer, even though it doesn't look like. because this designer, she did the headpieces. But for example, we did also this image, or I did this one, because the model, I think he was really amazing. He had this kind of weird parts. I don't think everyone has such a weird body as him. So we did even this idea with like a plaster, you know. And it was called Messiah. Yeah, here it's called Inri, but at the end it was published under the name Messiah. And here I come to my like a bigger project, and it's called Awakening. So this project was my master project, and I was working on it for quite a while. I was again inspired by, I would say, these biblical references, and mainly by Divine Comedy from Dante Alighieri. Probably all of you know this book. And basically Dante travels in the book through Inferno, then he goes to paradise, and then at the end he finishes in Paradiso, in paradise, I would say. So I was thinking that it's such a clever idea to do for fashion photography, you know. I think it's very interesting to take some other references that, you know, when you want to create something related to fashion, I wouldn't necessarily look to another fashion, because it's just like, it gets sometimes so shallow for me. That's why I think I like to look maybe a little bit to the broader perspective. So yeah, I thought that it's an amazing idea. So this was the part Inferno, and it was done in London, in Tottenham Court Road, actually. There was this old bookshop, and they were like cancelling the bookshop and changing the owners, and then I don't know how even, but for like 2 weeks it was available for shoots, and it was super like ruined, which is sometimes amazing for photographs. And there was also this art exhibition taking place, and we could involve the painters in the photos. So that's the background of that image. And I was playing like with Inferno, you know, with these like scenes when the sinners are kind of trapped in the bath of snakes and these. And I also love to play here with the interesting light. So we used like a torch with the red gel on it. And I think it created these interesting shapes. This was really nice model. Like, this wasn't planned shoot, so you can see that it's not so like a flamboyant. Yeah, it's not so like a thought through. But when I saw her and I saw her like a tattoo, I was thinking that okay, this is really amazing, like a thing to do. And this was done most of the time on medium format camera, on film as well. Yeah, so that's it. Oh yeah, I wanted to. No wait. I forgot one image which I wanted to show you. I think it's not there. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, here it is. I'm going to turn this on. Yeah, so for example, this one, I just wanted to show this one because this one was quite interesting in terms of the lighting, that this was done like in the era where there was not much light. So I was thinking that actually the assistants can create this kind of Egyptian lighting. So they took mirrors, and one was close to the window, capturing the sun. The other one was capturing the sun in the other mirror, and then behind the corner we created this like interesting shape and this light. So I call it Egyptian lighting. So I think that's quite interesting. And so I think it's nice to play even with the light. Yeah, that's a similar effect. We had also these mirrors which were like a circle, with just like an oval basically, and it created also like very interesting shapes. And this one was nice that there were like 3 assistants blowing the polystyrene balls to create that. I have somewhere. Do you want to see the backstage?
Yeah.
I think because that's a funny one. I have it somewhere. Facebook. Oh no, wait. I don't have this.
Quickly checking your Facebook messages.
No. No. It's just the backstage. Oh no. I don't upload the backstage images that much, but I have some. Yes, here it is. They were blowing the. So that was nice that the photographer captured it. So actually these assistants and this one has the mirrors. You see he has it here.
Yeah.
And then these were like blowing the... That's the makeup artist and does the hairstylist. So it was all of them like assistants. But yeah, that's basically the shoot, like some backstage from it. So you see it was kind of a crazy place. That's my like a set design, like my mess. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, so we were playing with this theme, and then here was Purgatorio. So I think that was probably the strongest one from these 3. And here I was playing with, the purgatory is the place where you need to like purify your sins before you go to heaven. So I was thinking that I can do the purification through color. So throughout all this series there is this like a color taking place, yeah. So here they are like reflecting to themselves. And there was, we have moon again. Yeah. So in this part, there was a very interesting section, which I was like, wow, okay, this is brilliant. So the sinners, they had to carry like heavy stones on their back to purify their sins. And I was thinking that's like an amazing idea. So then I was researching how can I actually get the stones. So I was writing with some set designers. And at the end, I found these like a polystyrene stones in one shop, and they actually borrowed it to me for free. But we had to. It was in behind Ealing Broadway, and we were shooting in New Greenwich, and we had to travel with this in the tube in the rush hours. So imagine like all these stones. I have maybe somewhere also some like backstage images of that. Like that was quite fun. Because yeah, I don't know, maybe I was really low on money. I don't know why we didn't hire some car, but we just like each assistant took one stone, and then we were just traveling to by tube, so that was fun. So yeah, and it was a beautiful location. We found it with Moon actually, because I wanted to get one location. Like I don't know if you know it. It's Millennium Mills. It's like an old factory, and I think it's super nice. But there is some asbestos, so it's not possible to.
Where is it?
In yeah, it's like close to New Greenwich. It's where it's the Excel Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were going there, I saw in like a big distance this. What's the name of it? This, you know where they put the sand, these circles. You know that construction?
Yeah, no idea about it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's like it's everywhere
it's
in
around
London.
yeah.
Around London, like I think before they used to put some sand in it. Do you know what I
Is
mean?
it like a cave or
Gas, they've been
something?
putting gas inside of it
Gas?
actually before, don't you?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now they use it for sand, it's kind of like this.
Yeah, these like these big circles. Do you know? No?
But is it regions kind of? There is one?
Well, there is loads of them.
Lots of them.
Loads of them, like a pretty massive constructions. But I saw it like from far away.
Gas houses? No. But it's not just, it's just a construction.
It's just the
like a
construction.
black
Before-
Victorian construction. That's the gas houses. That's
No,
not
not
it.
Victoria. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
could be.
Maybe you're right.
It's an old Victorian gas
Yeah,
houses,
okay.
like, but they're trying to destroy all of them now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They only keep in like there's one near King's Cross as well, and
Okay.
they built lots of mirrors around there. It's like a really cool one.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's a gas house, and there they put like loads of mirrors. It's a really cool location.
So that's also a good location. But yeah, I saw it in distance and I was like, oh wow, okay, so that's an option. So maybe as a second option. And then when we went there, we had to take the Emirates this line.
Oh yeah,
the cable.
Yeah, and then from the line I actually saw this location. And then I came there personally, and it was some company, you know, which produces or works with the sand and with the rocks. And of course, health and safety, they would never ever allow us to shoot in their space. But the guy who I was working with, you know, some construction guy, he was like, oh, go to the back of the site, like there is this like a place where you can actually see the whole like a space. So that's how I found this location. So sometimes the location hunt can be really like interesting. But I think, yeah, the location was great, and we had quite a lot of space to experiment. So again, like this is like on large format, the left one, and the medium format cameras. And here is the sketch. So you can see like yeah, so like a little nose, like a light from behind, and a wet look. I think she has quite a wet look. And then there are these like a little lines, because I was basically trying to show like this colorful path to the heaven, even though the wind was blowing it away, so that's why we have the little rocks on it. And you know, I just don't retouch some things, because I think it's a part of the image, so I don't retouch that much if it's not like a necessary, or if it's not like some commercial thing. Yeah, so just so you see that. We have moon. So here again the image, which is like without like a fashion, and I thought that it's really nice. So we created this like a triptych basically, and I thought that it actually works super nice, just the body and the stone. I'm gonna say it like I think in every second image now, no. So that's moon again, if you don't recognize it, because here you look so different with that hair. Like, yeah, a lot. So this one is again like a purification, and I was thinking about the purification of the body as well. You know, like removing the piercings away, so it's kind of you know, tearing them apart, like away. And I was even thinking to do some photos like with a tattoo, and they are trying to scratch it off and stuff like that. But I think it would look a little bit too cheap, so I think this was still like cool, and it was there. And then yeah, there's this like again the colorful path of the old man. There's actually really like a favorite model of mine as well, or it used to be. I think we're gonna see him later on. So this is the sketch. So first I wanted just Maxine, the female model, but yeah, I wanted her to wear this plastic piece. And
Did you make it, the plastic things?
No, it's really like I think his name is Kyselková, like a designer who's doing these things.
Nice.
And basically the model couldn't fit the neck piece, but Moon pushed it really like hard. So that's why we finally. I know you couldn't remove it afterwards, no? We were like having jokes like it's gonna be now forever on him. But finally we did like the image together, and I think it was working really nice. And you know, again, these like references of the river Styx, and then this kind of a shadow and light effect, because it's again like a shadow and light, like you are in between. You're in between shadow and light, basically. Yeah, so some like more of these. Again, the color. Yeah, sometimes I force the models here to lay in these beautiful scenes. Maybe it wasn't that beautiful to lay on it. And there's even like a glitters here. I don't know. We were throwing it. I don't know if it's really there, but some of it. Again, Simon. Again, like the sketch. So here the sketch is quite simple, but I think it just got the point. the sketch of Simon is really funny with the bird. Yeah, that's also his portrait. That's again like a large format. I think it's really like for me like a really beautiful photograph like of that look. And I was even quite happy that it got actually a little bit overexposed. I think there was some like a light leaking in the camera, but I just don't know, like his expression it was beautiful. And here again like this like a transformation. So again like this is a little bit funny, I would say again. But I like this like a development and evolution that this lady has still quite a long way to go. So that she doesn't have much color on her and she has a big stone. And then the last one is almost like at the end of his way to heaven basically. And I wanted to say something more about this. Yeah, basically in the book there is also written like the more you sin, the lower you need to like actually go with your head, and you need to have bigger stone. So I think that was basically referencing that. Again, the sketch. How it looks like my sketches. I think that should be a new book. That's gonna be like that's gonna be a famous one day. I think that's just I have a lot of fun with it. So here, like you see that some of the things are the same. Like one girl, the rest guys. At the end, it was 2 girls, 2 guys. Almost all colorful. Yeah, I was even thinking here like maybe some jewelry, then less. But then I was like no fashion, no jewelry. So I just like marked it away. And then this series is Paradiso. So I shot this series actually more times. I don't know why I don't have here this. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, it's gonna be there. So I showed this series twice. I'm gonna show the first attempt. So this is the second attempt, and I was focusing here on Beatrice, which is kind of a muse of Dante Alighieri, when he goes to Paradiso, to heaven. So the whole Paradiso, reading it is quite, I don't know, it's so poetical. It's quite hard to read it actually. It's just like a it's hard to read it basically, and it's hard to therefore portray in the images. But so that's why I chose actually the character Beatrice, and then the souls which are around, like here. And I was again lucky with the location. I again found it by just walking around London. So I was close to Trafalgar Square, and there was this, there is Korean Center, and they had the exhibition of this artist Lee Bull. It's a Korean artist, and I just came there and I was like, oh, can I shoot here? And then they contacted the artist from Korea, and she actually agreed. So I had the opportunity to photograph in the place. And I bought the suit, and these it's called Zentai suits, these crazy things what they are wearing, in the same color as was the location. And again, it was this was on large format camera. Actually, I didn't focus it properly, but I think it's fine. It's actually focused more somewhere here than on her face that much, but you can't see it really on the on this screen. So, and I did also some still lives with it, and just she was this kind of a muse, and just the souls around. Again, a large format. Yeah, so again, with the still life, just a portrait. So I'm playing with this a blue color, with this relationship. It was a kind of this beautiful idea. I don't know, I have more images again. One of them is moon again. And it was really funny to shoot there because this place has huge windows. So actually, That was fun. People were just standing by, and it was like a big spectacle. So they were like taking a lot of pictures and videos. And actually, I sometimes photograph just the model, the girl. So the guys, they actually created the whole performance, and they started to dance in front of the windows. So suddenly there was like such a big pile of people like taking pictures and doing videos. So maybe it's somewhere on the internet, but I still didn't find it.
So they are wearing like bodysuits, like.
Yeah, you can actually buy, like it's called Zentai suits. Like I like when I first found it out, I was so like, wow, that's great. Because I'm really a lot about. I love to like also work with the body only and a little bit hide the identity. I think it's funny. And actually, some people are wearing them these suits for like a football, football matches.
Oh yeah.
Because
they call them morph suits.
Morph suits, yeah, exactly. And you can even buy them in the flag of your country. But then they are doing these, like, which are a little bit maybe more like fetishistic. Like some people are using it for like some, fetish events. I don't know. And then some of them are using it for the like these football matches and stuff, because you can actually see through, and you can even like breathe through these materials.
Okay.
Well,
you're probably very sweaty.
yeah, it's true. Like this one wasn't the best quality. Of course, I bought something like on eBay, the cheapest one I could get, but so it wasn't the best, maybe.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Actually, you can see it even here. That how it's getting like a dark.
Breaking.
Yeah, because it was then all like a very broken idea.
Yeah.
Because the silver was just like going away from it. So I go. Yeah, so this was actually the first attempt of the paradise, where I didn't really focus on certain like a character, where it was more about the souls. And it was a bit disaster shoot, which it happens, but I think these two photos were saved. I basically, again, like I found, a great location. I wanted to photograph on large format again, and I wanted to photograph in water, which is kind of complicated, with large format camera. So I was trying to find some pool with a glass wall, and I found one in Prague for quite reasonable price. It was some like a weird club.
No.
Yeah, so I found that. And I was like, okay, that's great. And the location, it wasn't that expensive. But there was this like a kind of a transition of owners. And they were like, well, the water is a bit cold because now we are not using it. And I was like, so is it like a fine? And they were like, yeah, it should be fine. And then we came and the water was like freezing. So the models, they couldn't like stay there longer than maybe like 10 seconds. So it was just, and then imagine that also it was just such a disaster that there was this pool, but it was like really like a wall, it was like here, but it was all, imagine that this is all glass, and they couldn't hear me. So and you had to go all the way around some stairs to actually reach that place. So there was just. So then I was trying to like say to assistants to stand in certain points and then screaming like, oh there, then or call like to the other side. It was just. Or I was trying to show them, behind us, like what do you need to do? And then they were trying to like do something. And I don't know if you ever photographed under the water, but it's every time really, really difficult, even if you can actually speak with people. And when you can't even speak with them, it's just, wow. But we saved 2 pictures, so I was quite happy with that. We didn't manage on large format, but at least like on medium format and on digital photographs, like something. Because I still think that it was like a nicely done. But you can see here, like I spent quite a bit of like a time on this, and there was quite a lot of people involved, a lot of designers, and it just happens that it just doesn't like happen, yeah. But at least like the 2 pictures are saved. And this is the series I did like a part of the magazine. It was part of for one magazine, and their topic. The magazine is Pylot. I don't know if you know it. It's a really cool one. You can check it out because they accept only film submissions and you can't do any retouching, which I quite like. But they had this theme of family, and in that time my father was really sick. So like the only thing I could like think about was this kind of a maybe relationship between the daughter and the father. So I casted like this like older gentleman and this like a younger model, I would say, and I was like trying to express this kind of the new generation like coming and the leaving of the old generation and this relationship between them basically. And I even like photographed because my father like died eventually. So I photographed even like his things which were like left, like still lives. And even like I created these like still lifes, you know, like with flowers, because I quite like to use like floral motifs, like again of this like a beautiful like a flower coming to the dust, I would say, yeah. So yeah, this kind of a transition of the old coming to new, and this relationship basically of the old generation and of the new generation. Again, some images just like without fashion, just focusing on the body, and I was really grateful that I could work with the model Simon again, and actually, yeah, it's sad, but he also like passed away, and I don't know. So these images are for me quite like close, you know, in terms of this really like relationship of what that means for me. Okay. And now we come to another section, which is encounters, and that's the project I'm working on for quite a long time. And I'm working in this project with the body painters and with the painters, which paint on models. Usually I'm not choosing body painters. Usually I'm choosing some illustrators or really like painters who paint, because I think they can bring something from their own art, you know. So this is the first series that I did, where I was working with the artist Alina Zamanová. She's a really great illustrator, and that was like a beginning of the series. So she just painted a little bit on the like faces, yeah, just a bit, and we had like a pretty nice like images, like portrait images from this. So it was like a really nice project. Moon actually did hair here. I really like the hair in this one, in the first image. So it was like a beginning of the series where I'm basically working with the movement and with this painting and fashion. So it's kind of a mix of a lot of things together. Again, some shots just with the body, without any fashion. I have my friend, and she's a yoga teacher, and once she hired me actually to take photographs for her, for like her yoga class, and then she did this, and I was like, oh, okay, I need you for all my like for all my projects, because this is just amazing. And then her sister is a painter, so that was perfect that she actually painted on her, and then it was this kind of a nice. Even nice like a day. So I'm in this like a project. I'm basically working a lot with the performers and with the dancers. So it's not so much of planned photo shoot. There is like a much more space for improvisation, for like something unexpected, I would say, because I'm just trying to even like through the movement to revive actually the illustration or the painting. So actually the painting becomes like a moving with the body. So just showing a few. I'm gonna actually play you maybe a video which explains this a little bit even more. So it's basically like there's like no much of the story in this video, but it was mainly about like showing this movement in the music, you know, and show this this project as one project, because I think it's quite important to work with the video nowadays to show maybe like I still think I'm more like photographer than videographer, but I think it's interesting to show the things moving and show like a more the design even in the movement. So it's quite interesting to work with the video. And yeah, so basically I like played here with the, like a different like even postures and movements, and the casting is quite like I would say there's like a lot of like actors and performers. Because I'm also trying to like I think in my photographs to promote like a diversity in the fashion industry, because in the like the fashion magazines I think like really 80% is like white girls, you know, and that's basically the standard of models. There is not much of the like dark skin models sometimes and Asian models, or even like, you know, this this model on the right, she's not like a supermodel. She doesn't have like this super skinny body, but I think she's super beautiful, she's super fun. So I think this project should also show this kind of a diversity and this maybe happiness of life and movement and energy, basically. Yeah, it's about, I think, a lot of about the people itself and about the energy. This image, I've done it 2015 and I still didn't publish the picture. We did like a more, and I don't know why, but I still keep it in my files and I need to finish it, because we did like a beautiful portraits with this model, and Moon did the body paint in this project, in these photos. So I thought it's very beautiful. Actually, this is like my very one of my favorite images of this series, which we done again with Moon. And this was much more like you know, it was just two of us going to Brighton to the beach and doing some crazy stuff there, and I basically found this designer who creates these plastic pieces.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. Is he quite new now? It's just graduated.
It's actually like 3 artists together, and they did this collection like together. So it was like a guy, Ars Humanova, did the garments, and then oh wow, it's the Asian name. I think Yui Yang.
I saw his work somewhere for sure. It's like all the like plastic pieces.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I think
is it jewelry? Classified as jewelry? No. Sorry.
I think it's more classified as a headpiece, because they do even like this, like a covering.
Yeah. I saw his work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's actually she. Maybe I have it. I think it's Yui Ying. It's really hard with these names sometimes. Yeah, Yui Yang.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read it. Maybe you know.
Is it Chinese?
Yu Yang.
Yui Yang. You see, so that's the designer. And she's doing these amazing like a plastic pieces where it looks almost like a, you know, the scarf in the movement. Yeah, it was a beautiful shoot. We actually. Yeah, like why I did this, it was because I was part of this like a project, it was called Paris Project, where you had to do something just like you and the model or someone, and you had to do it on 35mm film, and I didn't have any like a camera with 35mm, so I just bought this like a kind of a cheap one-use camera, and I didn't really like the images which came out, and I didn't even see them before they put them to the magazine, so it was kind of for me weird to see it, because that was the like a rule of the project. It was like kind of a dogma, like a rule, so you had to just give them the film and they scanned it for you and they cropped it for you, and wow, like I don't want to do it again, because I think part of the process is also the selection and the cropping the images, and yeah, that was hard for me. So I was so happy that because I still don't have the images, they just took it and they have my film, which is just so weird. So at least I did some images on digital camera, which was so happy. And so far I edited just this one, but I think we have like more of the good ones. That's actually the backstage you saw from the day. I think it's just funny. Yeah, like that's basically how it looked like on the day. Here, like we ran out of water for the colors, so I'm running for the to the sea for the. So that's how the image actually. So it was just going to Brighton and having fun, and this, I think, beautiful image came out from it. So sometimes I think for a beautiful image you don't need much, and you don't need any like a huge production sometimes, and just some really dedicated models or performers, and yeah, that's it. This is actually yeah, I'm thinking where we should continue now. Yes, I think I'm going to continue now to something which I don't have in the presentation, and then we can come back to the presentation. Yeah. Or maybe we can, yeah, we can just finish this too. So this is actually, it was like I was commissioned to do this by the stylist. So sometimes the stylists, if they have it like as a part of their school assessment, they sometimes even pay me to create for them some like exciting content. And that's really great because I can do something which I like, and sometimes I can even do good images out of it, and I'm even paid for it, so that's the best combination what you can do. So this was actually, again, this kind of a biblical theme. I would say it was inspired by Seven Sins, yeah. And there was not much of the concept, like that huge one, but I think the images came out really nicely. Like again, moon shines here. Yeah, but I really love this one with the, and then again this model I'm actually using. I used her in the previous images quite a lot. Huh? Interesting. Here it's really bright. I was making the background darker. So that's good to see it on the other screen and see that you have some mistake with the retouching. Brilliant. And yeah, so it was just like, I think there's not much of the concept here, but it's actually interesting that it again like kind of falls to my theme of encounters. Again, the body painting and the movement. So sometimes I can connect the you know, the commissioned work with my own personal work.
Did you do the hair?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Moon did the hair
Nice.
as well, yeah. So you see, that's good. It's funny. I never realized it. When you're here, I every time remembers what you did, you know. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really nice to have as well.
So, I have a video of this project. Do you want to see that?
Yeah.
Earlier. Yeah, so even like the theme, I remember now when I see it, it was even like the states of insanity. That was the theme of the stylist, what she wanted. So that's why, you know, it was kind of a crazy. But again, you can see this relationship between like a kind of a good and evil. I think it kind of runs through my work quite a lot. Okay, and here we come, yeah, yes. So now I think we can actually go to the new project which I created, and maybe I don't need to say much because I produced this behind the scenes video where I'm actually speaking about the project, so I can relax and just play with the video, and it's gonna show you this project, and I think it's interesting that here you can see how the photo shoot looks like, because that was, I think, one of my first proper backstage videos. And and you can see how the whole thing is created and how many people is there. So I think it's interesting to see. So that's actually quite new project that I did for Infringe magazine, and it's a magazine which focuses on hair actually. So it's interesting that they actually let me to do almost they let me to do what I want. And again, I was trying to get some message in the photos, to not just like do beautiful hair or something, but really have some idea. And I think that's quite important in images, to have maybe something behind them. Where are the images? It's maybe here. Yeah. So basically, at the end, it's just like maybe 7 images, or 7 images. But the preparation of each image and the production, was like quite a lot of work. So that's sometimes interesting when you work for the magazines, that it just goes somewhere online or in the printed magazine, and that's it. It just goes away. But the preparation for it's like a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of efforts. I was even here working with a lot of people, and I was doing the production myself. So I was contacting all the people I basically want to involve. But the magazine took care of the models, most of them themselves. I just particularly wanted this model because I worked with her before. She's really amazing. It's Valerie from Mrs. Robinson agency. She's really amazing. I wanted Moon, of course. And actually, Joanna here, we have also another my collaborator. She was helping me with the styling of this shoot, so that was also amazing. So just to show that even kind of a fashion work can have some maybe message behind. Okay. So I still have quite a lot of things which I can show, but I don't know. Should we do some break?
No, we don't need a break.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
It's been quite a long time ago that I shot some fashion, but I always found that the mainstream fashion magazines are pretty reluctant to show, let's say, too much concept. And so, as strange as it sounds, I found fashion to be strangely bourgeois in their let's say, in their working standards, basically. So, the way that models actually have to look like, the way they have to dress and pose and those kind of things. So, although it is, on the one hand side, I think it's very avant-garde, but on the other side, I think it's very conservative in their kind of value system.
That's true.
How do you, because I mean, what's so great really about your stuff is that yes, there's always the second layer, and very often there's a third or maybe even a fourth layer. You can really dig into those images, and you can really explore them, I think, really from different angles. How do you find that? I mean, do you approach mainstream magazines to fashion magazines? How do they react?
Yes, so you're totally right that I have sometimes problem with that, to be actually featured in some a commercial magazine, because they just want to have this kind of a beautiful model, in all these very commercial magazines. I have quite a problem to get there or be featured there. I don't even know if the viewers would like to see something what I do. So I'm not shooting that much for these commercial ones. So yeah, I know what you mean. It's definitely true that also, I think it could change, and the viewers might appreciate it if there is some message behind. But these magazines have sometimes the editors for so many years, and they just have this standard of poses and certain types of what they are publishing. So I think they don't want much of the change. So yeah, that's definitely true that most of the time I think I'm more featured with some creative magazines or some publications which really like want something different, or when they are like publishing something between fashion and a little bit art, or you know. So that's definitely true. Yeah, you're totally right. Like, but I'm not. You know, I just think it's so boring in a way sometimes. Like, who's really watching this? Like, I think maybe it's just about then really about this like a bourgeois feeling that then the viewer's gonna flick through and will be like, oh, I'm gonna look so sexy in this like dress and I'm gonna buy it. So it's really like this commercial aspect to it.
I think it's pretty much.
Yeah, I think I don't understand it that much. Yeah, but it's definitely true. So every time like I think that I'm somewhere in between of these. So like most of I don't have that much of commissions from the magazines even. Like I mainly work for designers who which I'm gonna show now, which actually want something different, and they want some like a different imagery and something like which can really push their designs to some certain level or to some like a new sphere, if I can say that. So yeah, I think I found myself somewhere in between, basically. Like I can see my things in like maybe like a Love magazine or Vogue magazine, like maybe the Italian one. I think it could actually fit because with these you can actually see some story behind, or it's not just like a pure simple fashion. But a lot of the magazines, I find them like quite scared to change. Yeah, and even like in London, you can totally see in the magazine section that there is like sometimes like some vibe or some like a theme, and everyone's doing it. I think now it's like probably like a Harley Weir style. A lot of like continuous light, showed it on 35mm, maybe on medium format camera. It's like now so popular, and there's like a certain style how it just looks like. And the magazines like keep featuring it, and it's very popular. It's like it's like now it's going on. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, that's true. Yeah, that's why I don't know like where I'm gonna like finish. It's like still kind of open book, like what's gonna happen. So I'm working on a lot of like things at the same time, because I still think that I want to like be in the art world, but also in the fashion world. So I still like work on exhibitions, on doing like these art projects more. But then I still want to be with contact with designers and have like these magazine cooperations. So yeah, I'm somewhere in between. I would say. Anyone has any questions? Okay. So this is the second part of the presentations, which actually shows my commission work. Yeah, it's a long presentation, isn't it? Like if it gets too boring, we can skip it or something. So this is actually shows my like a commercial work, commercial, not commercial. Like it's again somewhere between. So I feel really, really lucky that some designers trust me, and they actually give me quite free hand in their campaigns sometimes. So they actually pay me to create for them the concept and like a quite unique images, I would say. So this was the collection done for Patrick Young, which is a young designer. He just finished at LCF and now he's studying at Royal College of Art. And I think his garments are just amazing. And when he contacted me, I was like, oh wow. And he's really, he doesn't believe himself. So that's even interesting, that I think his stuff is really like something like unique, because he plays with the movement and with the connections, with the garments, showing like a totally different shapes. So I think that's really amazing. So just some images which we have. I can show you also, we have like a video which goes with it. I think it's quite funny because I'm producing these videos myself, yeah. But I just think that it's very important to do these like backstage videos so people really get what is it about. Yeah, so I think you can totally see how important it is to have a good team. I think that, and also to, no, okay, we don't want it. Also to have people with the same aesthetics around you. I think that's just really important for anything you do, for anything creative, to just like have the people who has like a similar vision or who just identifies themselves in a similar manner. Yeah. And the shoot itself was very, very simple.
If you just said something, I didn't hear.
You couldn't hear it?
I'm so sorry.
Some magical like happens. It was almost like you're recording me and then it's like an answer.
Really?
That's funny.
Sorry for that.
That's alright. Yeah, so it was pretty simple. I didn't have even any assistant. I just like in the morning I was setting up the lights and there was really like a mirror. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, like we can like create this shape in the back. So then it was just like two light sources from the side, and one was actually with the red gel. And then you could create this kind of really like a shadow theater effect. So I thought that is very beautiful, and we have also like loads of images. That's actually styling assistant. But one model couldn't come, so we just like and that's what I do quite a lot. Like if you are working with me, like big like expect that you're gonna be models basically. You can be anything in the team, but you can be my models. Yeah, and then this is again like a commissioned editorial by a stylist. But I think it was quite like a beautiful idea. It was more of her art direction. Yeah, her name is Kim Pang, or M Kin on Facebook, I think. But yeah, her idea was the name was called like a self-portrait, like how we portray ourselves towards the society. That we sometimes like make ourselves more beautiful than when we really are. But it was like a nice day. But I really like the fashion which she put it there. And again, like I didn't have that much of the creative direction myself, but I think I still like put it something from me to the images. And again, amazing hair by Moon. No, but here the hair is just like, I love how everything works together here, like in terms of the. So this is like less of the fashion less of the concept and more of the it's like a pure fashion editorial, I would say. Here again the work which I did like a commission work for the designer. So it's amazing jewelry designer Sari Rattle. She's doing this beautiful series, and her collection was actually inspired by gender and by switching the roles of the gender. So for example, this piece should represent like the Adam's apple, or what's the name of it? Yeah, like the guys has, and they were like, I don't know if it's here. Yeah, like for example, this one should represent the shoulders, like the guys has. So like this kind of switching of the roles, like that you can actually put on you some jewelry which is gonna change your gender in a way. And again, like here I could work with the my creative concept. So we agreed that we can basically do like a one color in the photo shoot, like a one main color, and then do this like paper shapes. So it's a very, very simple idea, but I think it works very well. Like here, I think it's really nice to like working with the body paint. And again, you can see here, right? My how I'm doing my personal work, combining it with the commercial work. So it's more or less on the same, like in the same style or in the same standard, but it's like more like a commercial. You can see that it's a bit more clean, isn't it? Like that there is like a more emphasis on the product, but it's still like a really creative shoot, a very creative shot. I really like these. And very similar things. So that was the second designer after that. These images are still not published. I think it's gonna be out this week. And that's actually Czech designer Ivana Kaňovská. She's doing these like a metal pieces. So again, you know, I was like, well, why not to just use the body painting and like, you know, focus mainly on the jewelry, on the pieces, and just have her body painted. So I think it works really nice. And she actually chose the pink with the gray. And I have to say that the light is very like soft here. It's because we were like building for like 4 hours this like a white tent around the model. Because also this designer is very precise with her like helmets, and she didn't want almost like any reflections in it. Yeah. So we had to like build this whole like tent. And it was just again me and designer like building stuff. So I think I'm doing a lot of like manual things even myself. But sometimes it's fun like just to do it. So she didn't want it like any reflections, and I think it's quite nice how soft the light is and how there's like almost no shadows. So it has this almost like a space effect, like a really interesting one. Again, like a commercial work, it was for Maria Piankov, another designer. So, you know, here it's quite simple. You would say it's just like a white wall with like a kind of a classic lookbook thing. But again, I could put something just a little bit different because her collection was inspired by NASA and by space traveling. So I was thinking, you know, she can be almost like walking on the moon, or like this kind of also I created this just like a simpler shadow. So just by these simple elements you can create really exciting stuff. There is one photo which I could maybe show, which is better than this one. I don't know why it's not there. But because I also did like a little gift with it, maybe it's here. No. But it's gonna be somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking that that's even, yeah, this one. Maybe. Yeah, it works. So, you know, like it was like the beginning when I was trying the gift. I just did this actually at home. It's just like 2 polystyrene balls, and then my boyfriend was, you know, I turned it around. But you know, it's just really nice, and the hair, I love the hair again more because we were like just like throwing it to the air, and then it created this kind of a nice effect basically. But the designer really didn't like this image, and it was like. Sometimes that happens, that the designers have a little bit different vision than you. Okay, I'll go back. Yeah, so we created even like a little gifts. It was really nice. What's here? Oh yeah, also like a really nice cooperation. Amazing designer, amazing person again. It's Desiree Slavic's collection. Here again, like the idea was from her collection, because usually when I'm doing some work for designers, I'm trying to do the idea according to, you know, the idea of their actual garments or pieces. So usually I have like a meeting with them. I'm asking them what's actually their inspiration, why they did this piece. So she was inspired by architecture and the life without people, like the life after the people's, mankind, where actually the flowers overcome the architecture. So that's why there are these like fluffy things, like almost like coming out of these like structured pieces, which are like that, like a simple architecture. So we even, you know, played with the colored gels, and then these hands should again represent these like a kind of flowers coming to the model. And this was like done in Central St. Martin's inside, but we were trying to a little bit like create the shoot which is almost like done with the sunlight. I know that Holger told me that it's actually not looking that much like a sunlight, but we were trying to like imitate it a bit, like a sunlight. So again, playing with the shapes and the poses. So it's like a commercial work, but I still think the images are quite powerful. And sometimes you just have to look at the shapes and then the model. She had such a beautiful long neck, so I thought that it's really nice how she stands actually from the back. This is interesting because it was for Keksinsheim. Keksinsheim. How do I say it now? Do you know how to read? No, I don't know either. That's so complicated. There's a lot of like these names. It's really hard to read it. So she created a collection inspired by skin. And again, I could a little bit, that was again my art direction. I offered her that maybe we can combine the campaign images with the actual skin. That's gonna be your image, I think. Oh no, after that. So it's again like playing with the skin and then connecting it with the actual more like a campaign shot. But again, it's something like a little bit different or creative. Here we could like a little bit animate the shape on the trousers with the skin, and she basically used like even the colors of the collection are like skin colors. So we again like chose the pink background. Oh yeah, that's Moon. That was really funny. Like I still don't know how you did it, but I just thought that it's amazing. Because Moon did, again, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I think this is the assistant, the body shot, that's the model, that's the Moon who did hair. So with me, you can't you never know what you can expect, and you can really be models, like every time. So, this was for Ying Tae, also designer from LCF. She didn't have much of the concept, I would say, so that was nice. I could just do like whatever I wanted, basically. But she was like again having this kind of a concept with architecture and with like empty spaces in architectures, and with some like flower elements. So it was more about like the body postures, playing with the garment. And we did some stuff inside the studio, some even outside. So, for example, this image wasn't planned, but when I saw what she's wearing and I saw this like a fence, so there was like an instant click, isn't it? That she's playing this like a hide and seek almost in the fence. So I thought it's quite funny. Yeah, just playing with the structures, with the movement. This is for Czech designer Klára Válková, also like a nice project. It was in the factory where they are making the containers. These like big containers for ship boats. Is it containers? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was really nice. Like she's standing in one of them. So it was a beautiful location, and it was like really nice with the garments.
And did you just go and ask, can she in here? And
No, not really. But it's it's Czech Republic, so I just saying that in the factory was like running, but we had to speak with them before, and it was the designer who managed because she knew someone. Mm-hmm. But it's great that it's Czech Republic, so you have like not that much rules here. There's no like a health and safety policy. That was for me so strange when I came to London, and then you had health and safety on everything. We had to, even in LCA, we had to like sign the paper that we can climb the ladder, and we really had like for 1 hour showing us how to use the ladder, and I was like, really? Like, is this so complicated? So that's the great thing about the Czech Republic, that you have access to much more things, and much more things is more accessible, even like money-wise and everything. So I think she didn't pay anything to them. She just gave them maybe the images, maybe some slivovica, some alcohol. So that's how it goes in Czech Republic. Actually, once I even once I wanted to be like Gregory Crutzen almost. So I wanted this light like from helicopter. So I was thinking I'm gonna get the fire guys. They have these these cars with what's the name of it? Where you can actually go really high with it.
Oh yeah,
It's like a cherry picker.
For good.
What is it?
Like a cherry picker, I mean, that you sit in a basket and it takes you.
Yeah, exactly. So that was great. I just came to one village and they had this like voluntary fire guys, and they had the car. So I gave them like 20 pounds or maybe 15. And they took us to the forest with the car. Then they even used their own aggregator for the electricity. And then I gave them like some slivovica, and then we had like lots of fun. So you can get a lot of stuff like done there, which is really really nice. It's a pity that there is no this shot. Or maybe I can just show you. Because also with this designer, I think the lookbook was really nice. It was a bit, it's this one. It was a bit dangerous even, because this was in the other side where they were actually just like having...
5 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I'm finishing, I think. That's long enough. Yeah, just like that's saying that it was like a little bit dangerous because it was prohibited to be there, because actually it's quite dangerous with these machines. That's the place where they store all these containers. But it was just worth it so much, because I just thought that the background is just amazing. So it just like to show you the lookbook, that even the lookbook can be quite creative. I really love these the photos and the model. Yeah. Okay. I think that's almost the end. Yeah. Last 3 slides. Look at that. That's exact timing. This is again like a /art/commercial job, because every year I'm doing calendars. Because my family, we have the company for sport nets. So every year I'm doing sport calendar, I would say, but I have really free hand. So for example, this was like a previous year. We did these statues, I would say, like a very colorful sports statues with lines, playing around. This is the calendar. This is part of the calendar from this year, but it was also like a paid job by the fashion showroom in Prague. So that was nice that they had the theme of the collection, which is inspired by tennis. And again, they gave me quite a free hand, so I could just play around with these setups. But it's nice that you can even push certain things. Like I wanted one model which is dark skinned, again to have some variety. So I could push some things. And first also they wanted just one model. So I was like, well, hey, you can actually have 2. We can play more with this. So I think it came up quite nicely. Even these, a more sport and more commercial images. So again, connection of the commercial work and then that's it.
Oh, fantastic.